Greetings, Warrior fans. I'm Mike Stetson, Sports Information Director. Thank you for joining us for another week of the Warrior Weekly Show. This week, even though we have homecoming up, before we get to homecoming this weekend and the induction ceremonies and the homecoming football game, the men's wrestling team's going to hit the mat. They host their season and home opener tomorrow night, Thursday, against Graceland. So we sit down with Coach Brad Stockton, talk about the team and what the fans can expect from this outstanding group of young men. Want to thank you for joining us. Want to remind you fans, Friday night, the induction ceremony for Hall of Fame, and Saturday, it's homecoming time. 1 o'clock kickoff as the football team hosts Mayville State. Now it's time for the Warrior Weekly Show. Welcome to this week's show. Pleased to have head men's wrestling coach Brad Stockton with us today, and which means it's time for wrestling season. The boys are going to open up Thursday night, tomorrow night at home, hosting Graceland in a duel. Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, let's talk about tomorrow night. How excited are you guys to hit the mat and get the season started?
I think the guys are more excited than I am. I mean, I don't know. There's still things that I'd like to work on, that we haven't got to yet, but, I mean, if they're fired up, then they're fired up, which is good. I don't think, in my mind, that I'm ever going to be 100% sure or ready, but the guys are fired up. They want to, they want to get out and perform, and, they're tired of the practice scene for now, so.
Not a huge team, 10 guys on the roster. Obviously, you look at the weight classes, you're not even filling all the weight classes at this point in time, but how strong is this team? How good do you look in the positions that you are sending guys out?
I mean, strong. We've got some transfers in and returners that performed well last year, and they're a close-knit group. They're always on each other, pushing each other, which is good, holding each other accountable. Which is kind of nice, and we've got one senior, so next year those guys will come back and it'll be a larger team, and they'll kind of fill that role as like big brother type thing, and get everyone else on board with what's going on. So
talk about some of the big impact returners for you. I know you got a couple of guys that were just a match away from going to nationals last year that are back this year.
Yep. So Jonathan Hulk, junior, at 141. He's a tough returner. He's got, he's been so close the first 2 years to getting there, and I think once he gets there, kind of the weight will be off his shoulders in a sense.
Yeah.
But looking at him to perform well as a returner, and then Derek Samudio at 165. Just got to work on keeping him healthy, in a sense. So, those two big impact guys that are returning, and then brought in a transfer at 33, which, I mean, Eli at 33 did great things last year, and now he's got a great workout partner at that weight to help push him even more. But Mario, he's a tough kid. He's got a lot to offer to the team as well. And then Stephen Galbraith at 25. So, and he went to a JUCO, and then took a few years off, and now he's back. It took a little while to get him back into the swing of things, being away from it for a few years, but he picked it up, just kind of taking him day by day. He's a little bit older, so body doesn't recover quite as quick, so with him, just kind of a special case, and plan on using him, when he's healthy and when he feels good. So, like I said, close-knit group, and the guys are working hard. So,
being national champion here at Waldorf yourself as the coach. What are you giving these guys in the wrestling room? Tips, advice, technique, things that do you feel are a benefit to them?
It's just kind of a trust the process thing. Coming in, and I tell them, there's 3 different seasons in one. You got your first semester, your second semester, and then your postseason, really. And it's a sport where, that first, few competitions or whatever, you might be struggling. But if you're trusting the process and you're still working at it, you're showing up, you're putting the time in, and not only showing up and putting it in, but with a purpose, in a sense, then it will start to change. Sometimes it takes till that second semester. You come in, you're beat up, you get that little break, around Christmas time, you get back, see family, this and that, and you come back and you're geared up and you're fired up, ready to go. That's what I just trust the process. A match is 7 minutes long. Just take it period by period. If you just stay in position, you're working hard, a lot of things happen over that 7 minutes. So,
talk about Thursday night. Graceland comes in. Do you know much about them, or is this a pretty good matchup for you guys to open up the season?
It's a good matchup for us to open it up. Some of the guys I'm familiar with, ran into them the past few years or whatever. I know 25 is going to be a pretty tough one, and 49 for sure is going to be a tough one. So just going to have those guys step in and compete. And when you step in and compete, not just go out and wrestle, but just compete and fight through every position. Those would be big wins for those individuals. And a lot of things will change throughout the year as far as lineups and rankings and all that stuff, which I try not to put too much emphasis on. But just coming in and competing, and I was talking to him tonight. It's the first competition of the year. Everyone's fired up, okay? But you got to keep your head when you're fired up, okay? And it's 7 minutes. 7 minutes, you got one match, and then you got about a week off before we compete again. So, make weight obviously is a big thing. I tell them it's a big thing because if you don't make weight, you can't be out there. But make weight, step in the center, and you just got to fight.
Obviously, everybody thinks about those kinds of things when you start a basketball season or a football season. Obviously, there's the opening day jitters, but the same for these guys. This is their first chance to compete against somebody who doesn't know what they're going to do every moment in the match. So, yeah, that's a great opportunity for them to learn and to grapple against somebody who, I know he's going to do that. I know he's going to go to that position or move. So,
and it's like I told him, just when you walk out there, you're not going to be 100% comfortable in every position, that you end up in, but you've got to trust the stuff that you've been working on. The stuff that you're confident in doing, you have to do out there. If you're confident in the room, you have to be confident on the mat. You come back into the room, you fix a few of them, and you work on something else. Just so you have a little bit more diversity in your style and everything. So, but just trust what you're confident in and have it get you through that 7 minutes.
Take a look at the season as a whole. You mentioned there's the pre-Christmas season, post-Christmas season, and then the championship season. Where do you guys fall out in it? Do you just get a few to nationals, or is this team a team that, despite numbers, can be really powerhouse?
It's hard to say. It's quite a few months away yet, our qualifier, but it's that one day, and you've got to be on. You've got to be on to get to the next level, and that might be a split second in a match that says you go or says you don't. That's why that time of the season is just kind of a big roller coaster in a sense. You got some highs, you got some lows, and hopefully, leading up to it, everyone can be going in and and feeling good and confident and ready to roll in a sense. So I don't know. I try not to look too far ahead. I just like to worry about what's coming up next and how the guys are looking and how they're practicing, how they're feeling, and injury wise and go from there. So,
Well, we do want to look ahead a little bit. Aside from this Thursday, November 13th, you guys host William Penn?
Yep.
And then you host again later in the season in February, I believe?
Yep.
You host again. So there'll be 3 home matches for you guys, fans to come out, cheer these guys on. And also, I know you mentioned you have a special fundraising event that goes on throughout the season. Pins for dollars.
Yep.
Every guy who gets a pin, they have a sponsor donate $1 for each pin.
Yep.
Fans, if you want to get involved with it, it's a great way to help out the team and reward their success. I would encourage you to send an email to Coach Stockton and get in contact with him. He would love to have anybody who wants to help out the team in that way get involved in that, I'm sure.
Love donors. So.
I appreciate it, Coach. I want to remind you fans, wrestling starts 6 o'clock on Thursday night, Graceland in here. So be sure to come out and cheer these guys on to victory. It'll be a fun night. It'll be an exciting night for these guys as they get to finally hit the mat after a couple of months of spending a lot of time in the practice room. Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck on Thursday.
Thank you.